stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. And basically what that means is they're trying to make science and technology more accessible to high school age students. So, and make it sort of more cool. So, what I think that robots are a good way of doing this because, let's face it, robots are pretty cool. But unlike most competitions, where the goal might just be to get the most points and win, the first robotics competition also tries to build like healthy values, like gracious professionalism, because the goal is not simply just to win, but also to help other teams cooperate. And this is sort of shown by the way that the rounds are set up. So in each round, two alliances of 3 teams each face off in a competition. But at the beginning of each round, the alliances are randomly determined. So you might be matched up with 2 teams in one round, and then in the next round, you might be playing against both of them. But the idea here is that you're treating all the teams equally, no matter if they're your friend or your competitor or even just one watching instead.
I guess about the game. This year's game was called Rebound Rumble. It was played in a 27-foot by 54-foot field with a 4-inch tall divider down the middle. And there were 3 bridges along the divider that were sitting on a pivot. So part of the game was that you had to be able to get over this obstacle in the middle. So some teams decided to make an arm or something to push down the bridge so they could get up and over. Other teams, there's our arm. These arms had to be pretty strong, so we made ours out of oak because the bridges weighed about 20 pounds. You had to be able to push down. The other part, of course, was the basketball part, which is there were 3 or 4 hoops. 1 on the bottom, 2 in the middle, and then 1 on top. And the top ones were 3 points, the middle is 2 points, and the bottom is 1 point. And obviously part of the goal of the game is to score on these baskets. And when you started off the game, you would have a 15-second autonomous mode, where the robot would have to do whatever it was programmed to do by itself, and no human intervention. So ours was designed to just shoot towards the basket, and we made it a couple times, which is cool. But there were some that were designed to go up to a bridge and knock it down so the balls along the bridge would fall off on your side. Others just did nothing and waited until the teleoperator period started, which is it's kind of sad to watch. But the teleoperator period comes next, and it's a 2-minute period where you can step up to the controls and actually do that, and actually control your robot. And during this period is when most of the scoring happens. And you either shoot for the baskets, go to the other side of the court and bring balls back, block robots from shooting, just do whatever you can to help yourself win. And during a round, the last 30 seconds of this, their teams try to balance on the 3 bridges. And this was a big part of the game because if you could balance with another member of your alliance on one of the bridges, it's worth 20 points. But even more importantly, if you could balance with somebody from the opposite alliance on the middle bridge, it was worth what they call the cooperation point, which is equivalent of a win as far as seeding went. So if you won and balanced the middle, it would be 2 seeding points. If you lost and balanced the middle, it would be 1. If you lost and balanced the middle, it would be 0.
They call it cooperation.
Yeah, that's the nice word. But that's one of the ways to try to foster gracious professionalism in first, which ended up working really well because if anybody wanted to win, you have to work together. And we had a really great experience last year. We were finalists after getting picked by Aviation and Franklin, the 2 top leading teams. So we were the very last pick out of anyone in the entire game.
It was super stressful.
Yeah. And in the end, we lost by 1 point from a ball thrown in by the human player of another team, which is allowed in the last 30 seconds of the game. But it's throwing a ball 54 feet across the court, so nobody really thought it would happen.
So, we still got 2nd place.
Yeah.
We're coming back for revenge.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll do better this year. But we did pretty great work.
We also got to participate in a special event this year called Girls' Generation. It's only held in Washington by a high school called Mount Tahoma. We go there, it's to increase female participation in the robotics program, where it's only only girls are allowed to drive the robot and human player. It's to recognize what the girls can do as opposed to what the boys can do. Just for recognition of the female players. We were able to improve our shooting program, which earned us some very nice shots from like about half court. And we also worked on our human playing skills, and our coach was, due to a shortage of girls, played by a boy. But, it was very fun. But we didn't do as good as we did in the regionals. However, we proceeded as a runner-up team, which meant we were alternating in case anybody broke down. We could jump into them. We got to watch the rest of the matches, which was really fun.
All right, and so just sort of general things that are great about the first in robotics. So for me, robotics club has been great. It's super interesting. There's so much different stuff to try, and it's really shown to me like all. I used to think of engineering as like it was engineered. That was what you did as an engineer, and it's not now. I guess that there's so many different types of engineering, mechanical and electrical, and like doing stuff with computer design, and like I've gotten to try almost all the different stuff that there is to do in terms of helping with the robot, and some of it wasn't for me, but some of it really was, and I didn't think I would have ever realized how many people are going and building stuff in their hands and not even have done it for me, and now I know what's out there. First is also really great because it's like an actual engineering program. 6 weeks, which is not enough time. And you have a budget, and you have limited resources, and only certain things are allowed to do. And it's incredibly frustrating, but it's really fun. And also at the beginning, you look at this, you go, I have 6 weeks to build a 5-foot robot. That's impossible, and it's not. So for me, it's been really great, to sort of see how actually everything works, and get to try it out. And also get to meet other kids who enjoy it too. First is great because it really works hard on being competitive in visual professionalism. And getting to meet people from different high schools, and there was a robotics homecoming. Me as a geek. We didn't get to go to it, but maybe next year. And so it's, we're working with Bowen and Platt and F5. It's not just us thinking around in an unused room trying to build something. We're looking at something, get it to work with people here. It's really amazing.
Actually, this is the last story, I promise. When I actually joined this team last year, the reason that I came to the first meeting was because I was lured by chocolate. For the first meeting, you're building towers out of balloons, and I heard that the person who won would get some little chocolate squares, so I ran to the room, I showed up late, and I ended up getting second place with a kind of banana-shaped balloon tower, and I had my chocolate, and I decided, man, robotics is great, I'm going to the next meeting. The next meeting that I showed up to turned out to be elections, and before I knew it, I was elected vice president. But actually, as I kept doing first, it became something more than just little chocolate squares. I think of any activity at Ingraham that I value, this is the one that I truly value the most, and I think this is the one that this activity I've taken the most away from anyone. Working with talented mentors and in an interesting project, and working in a truly positive, internationally scoped environment has really, really benefited me. And being able to do this with your support has been fantastic. So thank you very much.
What? Who's your staff advisor?
That would be Mr. Shorman. So he's our in-school mentor. We have a couple of technical mentors. Our head mentor is right there. That's Steve Emmer. And then
Very much.
And so Mr. Emmer is father of a daughter in sophomore year at the University of Bowen. Spent, calculated last year, he spent approximately 2,000 hours. Wow.
I don't think I did, but it was close to 1,000 maybe. But it's a great program. It's really hard, but it's a lot of fun. And you guys are great. You're fantastic team, and it really was fun. And I'm glad to do it again. So it's a pleasure. It's really, I think it's a opportunity that the kids should get. If they want to do it, it's a fun program.